everybody, Beth Helvey with Couture Real Estate here. It is Friday, December 11th. We're almost halfway through the month and almost done with 2020. Isn't that fantastic? I hope everybody's doing well today. I wanted to go over a question with you. I've been showing a lot of property lately, as I'm sure a lot of other realtors have been. And it's kind of interesting that I get this question. And the question I get from like every, I don't know, third or fourth buyer is, hey, Beth, can you show me XYZ company's listing? I saw it on whatever website they saw it on. And the short answer is yes. But I want to explain to you how that works. So realtors in Florida, we are licensed in the entire state of Florida, which means that technically speaking, I can go anywhere and show property. I can sell property in Tallahassee. I can sell property in Miami and everywhere in between if I want to. It's tricky, with access and things like that. Most realtors don't do that. Most realtors stick to within their MLS area, which for me is Sarasota and Manatee counties. But technically speaking, my license is for the entire state. So I can show property anywhere and I can show anybody's property. So as long as that property is listed with a brokerage, a real estate brokerage, they are cooperating with other realtors and they are able, and then any other realtor is able to then show that property. Okay. It doesn't have to be my personal listing. It doesn't have to be my company's personal listing. It can be anybody's. It can be the big boxes. It can be the online ones, and it can be everything from the boutique brokerages to the single broker realtor. Anybody's. That's how it works. Okay. And some things that you might be confusing the issue is some of our terminology. So when realtors are doing real estate, we actually list properties, we work with sellers, and we work with buyers. And there's a handful that exclusively work with buyers or exclusively work with sellers. And there's a lot of reasons why they do that, but most agents will work with both. But the terminology, I think, might be part of why people get a little confused. So if I am working with a seller, I am the seller's agent because I'm representing the seller, and I'm the listing agent because I've listed their property. If I'm working with a buyer, I am the buyer's agent because I'm working with the buyer, and I'm the selling agent because I'm selling that property. And I think sometimes the terminology may get a little confusing. Now, and when you're speaking of a realtor and you're using those terms, what you're really talking about is their role in that particular transaction. So I might be the listing agent in this transaction, and I might be the selling agent in another transaction. Okay. So you need to keep aware of that. So something else that people will ask me is, like when I was with the big box brokerage, I saw your listing over here on XYZ Street. It's with your company. What do you know about it? Well, with my big box brokerage, we covered 3 counties and we had well over 600 agents. And if you want to put that into some numbers, for example, just this morning, there are over 2,400 properties listed in Sarasota County. That doesn't include rentals and that doesn't include investment properties at all. That is just single family homes, townhomes, and condos. Also in Manatee County, which I also work, there are over 1,500 properties. Okay. I think I said 24,000. I meant 2,400. So it's 2,400 in Sarasota and over 1,500 in Manatee County. So it is literally impossible for any realtor to know about it. Now, sometimes you'll ask me about a property, and yes, I will know about it. Maybe I've shown it to somebody else. Maybe I know the agent. Maybe I've been in it. I've sold in that community before. I've recently sold in that community before. I know a lot about it. I know about the building, if it's a condo, things like that. But that very specific property, I might not know. What I might not know is what kind of work's been done to it. That's information I'll have to find out for you. I may not know why the sellers are selling because I don't know. That's a conversation that I would have to have with that particular listing agent. And if they were willing and if the seller allowed that information to be divulged. So these are things that people ask me a lot. And quite frankly, that last question about, do you know about this? I blame HGTV. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the shows. I watch it myself. They're fun to watch, but they're completely and utterly staged. So when, the 25-year-old couple buying the $700,000 house because they need a backyard for their goats is out there looking, their agent that they're working with has already done all of that background information. When you're watching these shows, the people that are buying a property, they've already gone under contract. And quite frankly, oftentimes they're already living in the house that they're about to buy, okay, on the show. The other two properties are properties that were brought in for the show, okay? So that's not how it works. So when you call us up and ask us, any realtor, and say, I saw this listing on XYZ Street listed by your company, what do you know about it? Depending on how big the company is, depending on how new it is, depending on my relationship with that listing agent, depending on if I even know that listing agent, maybe I can tell you something about it, maybe I can't. So, and that's just kind of how it works. So, you do need to give us a chance to do our research. And those of us realtors that like to dig deep and go down rabbit holes like myself, we do that a lot. Hey, Cassandra, what is the best way for a buyer's agent to approach marketing a property is not their listing? Do they just ask listing agent permission? What is the customary protocol? Okay, so that's a really good question. Why would a buyer's agent market somebody else's property instead of their own? That's a really good agent. Now, and maybe we're saying two different things, because what I would probably do is heavily market my own properties, but if I came across something that was just super cute, which I do, I'll repost it, things like that. I might, and of course I share it with buyers that are interested in things like that. But it really depends on what you're asking. Sometimes what listing agents will do is that they will all get together and do some marketing. Unless you're talking about marketing a property post-sale, that's a little different. Marketing a property post-sale, you can, because once the transaction is over, the relationships are not severed, but the relationships no longer exist between a seller agent and their client, and a buyer agent and their client. So you can. What I would do, though, is if you are the buyer agent and you're going to market that you sold this property, do your own stuff. Take your own pictures, get your own information. Don't lift it from the listing agent who paid for all that to begin with. I'm not sure if I answered your question. But yeah, so when we're out looking at properties and we're doing stuff like that and we're driving by and we see a sign and, that's your company, what do you know about it? So that's just something I want to tell you all about. So, yes, we do know a lot, but like, for example, the 2,400 properties. Oh, okay, that was crazy. So for the 2,443 properties that are active in MLS right now in Sarasota County, when you and I are talking today, and you're going to be here the first week of January, the properties we're talking about today may no longer be available. So while we're talking about these properties, we're educating ourselves on the communities and educating ourselves on property in Florida, buying property in Florida, condos, single-family homes, and stuff like that. When we get out into the car and we're looking at property, we have to start that process kind of all over again for those individual properties. And we'll see that a lot. And we'll walk through a property and it'll be priced at whatever. And the buyer will say, hey, what do you think of the price? And unless we are very, very familiar with that property or that neighborhood, we're going to say, seems good. Let me check. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into a house that the price seemed really, really good. And I'm thinking, gosh, this is such a good price. And then I go back to the office and I run comps and I find out that that particular neighborhood did not increase in value like other neighborhoods in that area. And that will happen. So always give us a chance to double check, because you really, really want your realtor to do research instead of talking off the cuff. So anyways, that's just how it goes. I just wanted to kind of kill some misconceptions about it. So yes, we don't know about everything in the area. We know about areas, we know about buildings, we know about property in general, but a very specific property, we might not. We may have to do a little bit of research and get that information for you. Occasionally we do, and it's oftentimes because we've already seen it, we've already done the research, or we've just sold in that particular neighborhood or sold the house next door. And yes, I can sell you any property that is an MLS. I can even sell you properties that are for sale by owner if the owner will cooperate. And that's just how it works. You don't need to call XYZ company to talk to XYZ listing agent, because you're not going to get great representation that way. And of course, if you're working with an agent who is a buyer agent, they will do all of that for you. So I hope cleared up a few misconceptions. I hope y'all are having a great day. We are finally getting some good weather. It is going to be in the low 70s next week. I am very happy about that because I hate the cold. So if you have the opportunity, today is going to be beautiful. You have the opportunity to get outside to get some vitamin D. I encourage you to do so. So wear your sunscreen, drink a lot of water. If you have any questions on looking at properties and buyer agent roles and how that whole relationship works, throw it in the comments or DM me. I'm happy to answer those questions. And if you have any questions on real estate in general, throw it in the comments or DM me. Like I said, today's question came because I had 4 people ask me that just this week. And I hadn't realized that it was such a misconception about what agents can do as far as showing properties and how we have access to all of this. So have a great day, everybody. Enjoy your Friday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye now.